What a beautiful name. Signe? Did I pronounce it correctly? Signe. Now, Signe's question is so complicated, I need to have a policy nerd to ask it. Now, do I have any policy nerds on my panel? Secretary Clinton. Secretary Clinton.
And this is looking at Milan.
This is one I know you know the answer to. Climate change is anticipated to exacerbate conflict over scarce resources and worsen the risk of certain natural disasters. Women are disproportionately vulnerable to these risks. So Signe asked, how can women, especially students here, I like this that you're bringing your questions back to you, help other women across the world face these risks?
It's a great question. You're absolutely right. I want to answer it in three parts. I do think that there needs to be more political pressure put on the current administration to get back into the Paris Agreement. And the fact that we are the only country left in the world. Syria actually was the other holdout. They've joined the Paris Agreement. And I think that there's been so many issues that people are concerned about that it's easy to get spread so thin that we don't make a significant impact on the political calculations and thinking of the administration and Congress. So I would hope that there could be much more activity around climate change with a specific goal. And my suggestion, although there could very well be others, is put the United States back into the Paris Agreement, and lots of student activity, lots of, old-fashioned stuff like phone calling and everything, but also a consistent presence trying to make that case, because that will enable us to try to do more as a country, even though it's going to be difficult, I admit, to try to change this policy. But I recently met with the UN official responsible for implementing the Paris Agreement, and she's optimistic about the work that's being done between other governments and not-for-profits and private businesses. In our country, a lot of mayors and governors are stepping up. So in addition to trying to put pressure coming from campuses and elsewhere about getting the United States back into the Paris Agreement, there's much that can be done here at home that will be beneficial globally. So looking for ways to work with not-for-profits, even private sector businesses, and certainly governments, volunteering, doing whatever you can to help us organize ourselves here on the local and state level, waiting until we get back into a national commitment. With respect to the rest of the world, I would say that particularly for women, you're absolutely right. They will bear the brunt of looking for the food, looking for the firewood, looking for the place to migrate to when all of the grass is finally gone as the desertification moves south and you have to keep moving your livestock, or your crops are no longer growing, they're burning up in the intense heat that we're now seeing reported across North Africa into the Middle East and into India. So yes, women once again will be the primarily burdened with the problems of climate change. So look for international organizations to support. There are some groups that are planting trees, and people say, well, that's kind of, a simple thing. I want to do something really important. Planting trees is really important. And helping to move toward more drought-resistant kinds of trees and shrubbery, just to try to save the soil, try to create some shade, try to give something to eat, agitating for